Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Teleislas News with the most important news of the day. Today, the hurricane season officially begins. Many are the speculations about whether the islands are or not prepared to receive the station. However, the authorities request to follow the recommendations made by experts on this subject.
The 2021 hurricane season is expected to present above normal temperatures. That is why the community must be attentive. For that purpose, the IDEAMS director is very concerned about the hurricane season, which will start today. The IDEAMS director wanted to share with the islands a few indications to keep in mind.
Let's remember that climatologically, there are 12 storms per year. For this 2021, it is estimated that there will be between 13 and 20 tropical storms.
On the other hand, the IDEAMS director explained that there will be transit of waves that move through the archipelago causing rainfall.
IDEAM recommends the community of the archipelago to be very attentive. The month of June has already begun, and the transit of tropical waves coming from the Atlantic, transiting through the Lesser Antilles, through the continental territory, and will also be moving towards the archipelago. These tropical waves will favor the presence of precipitations typical of the month of June.
The official made a very special invitation to people and entities to be attentive to the protocols of action in the face of the tropical cyclone season.
And with the arrival of the month of June, the World Meteorological Organization officially gives the beginning of the hurricane season and provide a balance of the first cyclones that may be present.
The hurricane season in the Atlantic begins today, June 1st. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration of the United States predicted a hurricane season more active than average. By 2021, NOAA projects the formation of between 13 and 20 storms, of which between 6 and 10 will become hurricanes, and 3 to 5 will be major hurricanes of Category 3 or higher. The World Meteorological Organization revealed the names of tropical cyclones in the Atlantic for this year. Tropical Storm Anna was formed on May 22nd and became the first named storm. At this moment, there are no active areas of possible storm, the development that may affect Colombia. Therefore, entities are currently monitoring the climatic behavior of the Atlantic. It is worth mentioning that this hurricane season starts on June 1st and ends on November 30.
And during the morning hours, public transportation stopped. The workers refrained from going out to do their respective daily routes due to inconformity with the bus cooperative. Here we will know what was the reason for the manifestation.
For approximately 5 hours, the public transportation service was suspended in the department. Drivers parked the buses of the cooperative as a peaceful protest due to disagreements with the treatment given to them. According to them, they have not been paid for more than 8 months and feel constant persecution by their bosses. The workers refrained from speaking openly before the cameras of Teleislas News for fear of being fired, but they did speak out via phone call.
We are having irregularities in our payroll, that as employees of payroll, we must have a salary as a backup payroll, and at this moment, we do not have it. We have more than 8 months suffering on that end.
Today, the manager of the entity mentioned in an exclusive interview for this news agency the following.
Then getting a salary, because them work every day and then take out the daily money and then give the owner, the boss, the rest of the money.
Due to the apparent limitation that the pandemic has entailed for the public transportation service, the number of passengers allowed per trip and the possible negative impact of these variables on the income of the cooperative, which in turn implies a reduction in the economic retribution for the drivers who, according to their versions, rarely receive some of the proceeds of their daily work, which averages 250,000 pesos per day, of which they must allocate 105,000 pesos for the car ticket, 115,000 pesos for the gasoline, and also recognize a fee for the owner of the vehicle.
And in other news, the Superintendents of Public Utilities announced that they will take possession of the Empresa de Servicios Públicos de Providencia y Santa Catalina, PEICA, upon determining that it does not have the structural and financial capacity to operate and guarantee services.
Good evening, Lisa and all the TV viewers, when in hours of demanding the Superintendency of Home Public Services announced that they are going to take over the Public Services Company of Providence, PICA, when determined that they don't have the structural appearances to keep up all the service in the municipality of Providence. In this way, they are going to guarantee the aqueduct, sewage, and cleaning services to the inhabitants of Old Providence. This is all the details of this press conference.
Efectivamente, el día de hoy, en pocas horas,
Effectively today, in a few hours, we will take possession of the company P&K, which is the company that provides water, sewage, and sanitation services in the municipality of Old Providence. This is a decision that has been evaluated and that was taken based primarily on two circumstances. The first is the repeated deficiency of the provision of water, sewage, and sanitation services that has been evidenced from the technical direction that was deepened by the passage of Hurricane Iota.
The superintendent stated that once the information of what happened after the passage of the hurricane with these services in the municipality was available, they proceed to analyze taking over this company as part of the contribution to the comprehensive reconstruction of the island in order to return optimal services to all the inhabitants.
una prestación óptima de los servicios públicos.
We're doing this so that it does not remain the same since it was very deficient, but so that it changes and there may be a quality service which will return the quality of life of its users and be a booster of tourism as the main economic source of the island.
The takeover will be done in the next hours, and the superintendent has designated Empresas Públicas de Medellín as a special agent or intervening agent of this process, taking into account that a high-level technical direction is required, acting together with the national government for the reconstruction of Old Providence and Keclina. The objective is to meet the priority needs of the community, improving the provision of services in the shortest possible time. This is all the information we report from here from this point of the island. Continue listening.
Thank you, Alice. And the local government, through its Secretariat of Infrastructure, in anticipation of the rainy season, started a series of works in order to clean and drain those fluvial channels that are sources of flooding.
The first cleaning was carried out in the sector of the warehouses of loading and unloading of goods parallel to the airport, where with the help of the motor pumps, were able to evacuate the water from the rains that accumulate in this sector.
We have started taking actions. The first one is to hire personnel dedicated to the cleaning of the rainwater drainage channels. The second one is the bidding process to obtain the all-risk policy and the SWAT for the vehicles that do not have it, and in this way we can start, because all the rainwater channels are not suitable to receive the rain. But fortunately, the process of hiring people has already advanced, and the process of hiring for the cleaning is already on its way.
The Chief of Staff also talks about how this project will move forward considering the arrival of the hurricane season.
We have alongside also start with the Chief Engineer of the Departmental Repair Shop. We have been preparing a schedule that will start from next week to prepare for the hurricane season, and also keep in mind that it rains here every day, so it is very important.
In addition to this, the Secretary of Infrastructure stated that they are already in the process of contracting a pumping station and operators who will manage these stations.
The Secretary of Health informs the community that only 2 vaccination stations are enabled, which are the Departmental Hospital and the Manowar Park. A rotation of vaccination points is being carried out.
The 2 set locations for vaccination are the Departmental Hospital and the Manowar Park, which are the 2 places where most people are arriving. This Saturday, we had vaccination stations in the Coliseum of St. Louis and in the Educator's House.
The Health Secretary said that according to the schedule, the station will be moving to have a greater impact on the community. The rotation sites will be announced through the various media. The head of the health portfolio also recalled that vaccination has already begun for people from 50 to 54 years of age and from 16 to 49 with comorbidities. It is worth mentioning that nationwide, as of the 31st of May of 2021 year, 10,092,122 vaccines have been administered in the country. In the archipelago, 17,824 vaccines have been applied.
And the departmental government will develop participation tables to define successful projects and initiatives for financing with royalty resources.
Today's table will be held at the Chamber of Commerce from 2 until 6 p.m. with limited seating. These informational meetings, according to the Secretary of Planning, seeks to comply with the Law 2056 of 2020 that requests the governments to make a special chapter so that through it they can deliver project initiative eligible for financing with royalties resources.
All territorial entities have the duty to do it, and this means to be able to access the resources of royalties. Those who do not do it or do not have it included in their development plan will not be able to access these resources. Basically, the projects have to be included in the development plan because it is our guiding document.
The community in general is invited to participate. There is a link enabled since the seating capacity is reduced. Community participation and projects initiative will be the key to the development of this meeting.
And now we continue with all the sport news of our department.
Hello, here are the best sports of the islands. Training processes are essential for the construction of young talent in football. The different categories of the formation stage of football in due time is eventually produce and shape great players for a great professional team. In this opportunity, your son could be a part of this dream in an inter-club tournament organized by the DIFUTBOL that will give them the opportunity and will also serve as a showcase for the island players to demonstrate that the island archipelago there is also talent in football. We spoke with the renowned coach Fabian Barbosa, who spoke in more details on the subject.
It is an important card where all the boys from 15 to 17 years old have a nice opportunity where they can integrate and have a good formation. And a nice opportunity is an inter-club tournament where they will show the potential of the island soccer. It is an opportunity for young people and parents to integrate, to have an opportunity to demonstrate a different kind of work, and for them to learn by showing the potential and talent that San Andres has.
These tournaments are of most importance for the young people of the archipelago, according to trainer Barbosa. The Spratbite beaches continue to be the preparation scenario for the beach handball team. The training of the beach handball team of the islands continue at the best setting, the beaches of Spratbite, where the young athletes meet every day to integrate in order to be ready and have a good physical condition to face the upcoming handball tournament. This is what player James Howard said.
Well, we just practicing the sport, what we love, we represent we island, what is the first of all, try to get the island one good face for the sport, try to get the best of we for shows if we island got what we need, so we have to show what we got.
This young athlete sends a message to the young people of the archipelago.
I hope they really study because when you study, you can go through in a life, and when you got discipline, you can get a class of goals. Just have to try to study, do one sport to feel good and continue in a life.
Okay. Under the guidance of Coach Jonathan Rubio, training continues with a lot of discipline, as stated by Howard, to face the next Mariplaya Beach tournament.